Welcome back to the Turbo Tuesday Talk Show, where viewers like you ask the questions. I'm your host, world-renowned Turbo Tractor, and for those of you who tuned in earlier today, this is the second part of Lightning McQueen's interview. He's back to answer your questions. So everyone, please welcome back Lightning McQueen. Hello again, Turbo Tractor. Hey McQueen, welcome back. You ready for round two? You bet I'm ready. Round one was just getting me warmed up for round two. That's good because we've got some more great questions. Up first is, why doesn't anybody call you Montgomery anymore? I get the nickname Lightning, but seriously, I haven't heard anyone call you Monty in like 16 years. Well, Montgomery is my real name, of course. Up until I first entered the Piston Cup, my closest friends would call me Monty, but I thought it would be a good idea to enter with a flashy sounding name. Like the slick racer I thought I was, you know? So I thought about some names I could use, like Speed McQueen, Flash McQueen, I thought about Zap McQueen, and then it hit me, Lightning McQueen. So that's what I ended up going with. And it became a name nobody could seem to forget, so I've stuck with it, and kind of adopted it as my real name too, because that's what everyone knows me by. Even my closest friends like Mater and Sally call me Lightning. As far as I'm concerned, that's my actual name. That's quite interesting. To be honest, I never knew your name had ever been Montgomery in the first place. For all I knew, it was Lightning, and as far-fetched as it may seem. Well, it makes sense. I don't think many cars know my real name is Montgomery. This is the first time I've heard my real name Monty get brought up in years. How about that? I guess this is what interviews are for, digging up unknown information. Well, next up, do you like Lightyear tires or whitewall tires? Well, I don't dislike Lightyear tires. In fact, I remember being super excited when I got my first set of them when I started racing. But ever since getting fitted for a set of whitewalls at Luigi's Casadella tires, there's been no turning back. I prefer whitewalls quite a bit over Lightyear racing tires because they're more relaxed and comfortable. Hardly anything beats taking it easy and cruising around in a set of stylish white walls and enjoying the nightlife in Radiator Springs. I wouldn't mind having some nice stylish white walls myself, if I could get ones that are huge enough for my rear wheels. Luigi's Casadella Tires does take custom orders and they could get you a set that's just your size. Oh really? Well, I'll have to keep that in mind. The next question. Hey Lightning, what do you think of the new NASCAR paint jobs for the NASCAR event? I thought they were really fresh. All the racers were rocking those NASCAR paint jobs. I especially loved my NASCAR paint job, which Ramon gave me. I hope there's another NASCAR Piston Cup event before too long so I can try on another NASCAR paint job. Yes, that was quite the event. I hope another one comes along as well. And I'm sure there'd be some fresh new paint jobs along with it. Next, we've got a number of questions packed in here. I'll let you answer them one at a time, but here they are. How could you let Cruz win and quit at the top of your game? Do you think Doc would want some random car to win instead of you? By the way, you shouldn't have stopped to help the king, and what's the problem with that Chuck guy? My name is not Chuck! Why does everyone think my name is Chuck? When I've said a million times, my name is not Chuck! It's not Chuck. Oh boy. I've said security. My name's not Chuck, and no one believes me. They say it's Chuck. Everyone calls me Chuck. Why does everyone want to call me Chuck and be mean to me? It's ridiculous, my name. Sorry for the interruption, McQueen. Did you catch all the questions in there? That was quite a mouthful. Wow, I didn't ever think I'd see him again. Yeah, I got most of that. Well, first of all, it was my full intent to win and beat Jackson Storm, but I had to face the facts. I was getting less and less competitive against next-generation racers, and I didn't have what it took. But Cruz did, and I knew she had aspirations to race. It was the only right choice to give her the chance, and I certainly don't regret doing it after how far she's made it. I think Doc would be surprised by my decision, but I still know without a doubt he would be proud of Cruz and I, if only he could have been there. About helping the king, I think it was the right thing to help him. I mean, I learned that winning would get me nothing but an empty cup. It was more valuable to me to help the king finish his last race. And I don't really know what the problem is with that not Chuck guy. I think he just doesn't like being called Chuck. Doggone right I don't! Wow, you answered all that in one go. Well, next question then. Do you still keep in contact with the king? Yes, I do actually. We call each other up every now and then to see how each other are doing. Every now and then he even passes through Radiator Springs to pay me and the gang a visit. That's cool. Now we're wondering, how did you feel when you had a tie? At the time I tied with Chick and the King, I thought I had won. It wasn't until they announced it that I found out I tied with them. So at that moment I was pretty disappointed because I was pretty sure I had won. Nowadays I know not to be too sure about things like that. Man, was it a close one though. I bet that the King and Chick thought they had won too. Well, the next question is, how many times have you had to deal with Chick? Well, I've known Chick ever since I was a rookie, so I've had to deal with him countless times. He's always seemed to find some way to start trouble, and I'd say I've dealt with him way too many times, and none of those times have been pleasant. Oh, brother. Well, next up, Cruz can be annoying at times. How do you manage her? Well, she's high energy, that's for sure, and it took a while, but I think I've gotten used to her antics. Really, I don't mind them. After all, I did have to get used to Mater's unique behavior that some might say is annoying. But what can I say? He's my best friend, and so Cruz isn't all that annoying to me either. Sounds to me like you're a very patient car. Now, why did Tex Dynaco offer Cruz Ramirez the Dynaco sponsorship after the 2017 Florida 500? Well, Cal Weathers was going to be retiring from Dynaco, and so they were going to need a new racer. Cruz won the championship and proved her skills, so when Tex approached her with the deal to sign with them, it would have been hard to say no considering that Dynaco is one of the very best team sponsors to be backed by. She couldn't really stay with Rusty's because of some issues that needed sorting out after Sterling, the owner, didn't want to see her racing, so Dynaco it was. Imagine people telling you you'll never be a race car and then getting signed with Dynaco after your first race. Simply incredible. Anyway, next up, how did you manage to win 7 Piston Cups, Lightning? Well, I guess a number of things. Luck, determination, and having a really great team are what helped me win all 7 of those Piston Cups. I had everything I needed with those things there, and then I just put in the hard work and did it. Won all 7. Very well done, McQueen. Ooh, this is a bit of a tricky question. McQueen, since you are a 2006 model, does that mean that was the year you were born? And if so, how did you compete in the Piston Cup at less than a year old? Good question, but I was actually born in 1977. I'm referred to as being a 2006 model as the rest of my fellow rookies were at the time because, well, that's when we reached the point to start racing. But at that time, I had been training until I was 29 years old, and that's when I was qualified to enter for the first time in 2006. Because the rest of the rookies and I had first started racing in 2006, we were called 2006 models because we were the most current models that had entered the racing world, even though we were technically born prior to that. Well, that's still a bit confusing, but I think I know what you're saying. You're saying a car's model in the Piston Cup is dated with the year that they actually start racing, since that's the time those particular models of cars actually start competing? Yeah, that's about right. Interesting. Still hard to wrap my mind around, but anyway, next question. Do you think you could have beaten Storm if you hadn't given Cruz the chance? I think there's no way I could have beat Storm and not let Cruz go in for me. I had trained as hard as I could, but Storm was only getting better and better while I was falling behind all the time. That's when I had to face it. I had already had my time as a top racer, but that time had come and gone. And so no, I don't think I really stood a chance unless there was a miracle. I see. Well, moving on to a different phase of life isn't always so bad. It certainly is not. I'm very happy being where I am right now. Good. Well, next question, though. It's another one about Chick Hicks. Well, how was your first interaction with your old rival, Chick Hicks? Let me think. That was a long time ago, around when I first started. I remember driving into the lockers and he started trash talking a little. He called out, "Hey everyone, welcome to rookie Rosie Red." He got a few laughs from his teammates, but Rosie Red fortunately wasn't a name that caught on. He's tried others, but they've never really seemed to work. Well, no kidding. He sure hasn't changed at all over the years. He sure hasn't. Next up, what have you been doing since you retired racing? Oh, I've been taking things a lot slower. Mostly been spending time with my friends and helping out down in Radiator Springs, as well as coaching Cruz, and enjoying getting out for a drive every now and then. That sounds quite splendid. Well, McQueen, thanks for joining us again this evening for some more questions. It's been fun, Turbo Tractor. And everyone, thank you for tuning in to the Turbo Tuesday Talk Show where you ask the questions. Be sure to come back next time for some more. Hey everyone, thank you so much for tuning in to the Turbo Tuesday Talk Show where you ask the questions, part 2 of McQueen's interview. I truly hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, be sure you support it by hitting that like button up above and by subscribing down below to see more content like this, which is coming very soon. Also, thank you to those of you who sent in questions for McQueen to answer, because they were great questions and they made this interview possible. Now, if you have some questions you would like to ask Snot Rod, who will be appearing again on the show very soon, be sure to ask them down below for Snot Rod, the infamous tuner. And if you've made it this far, here's a bonus question from Lightning McQueen. McQueen, what is your favorite thing since you've retired from racing? My favorite thing ever since I've retired, I think, is being able to pass on my knowledge and experience to Cruz. A lot of it I learned from Doc, but there's still some things I've picked up on my own, and it's really rewarding to see it pay off for another car. That's awesome. Thank you again, McQueen, for joining us. See you all next time. Turbo Tractor, signing out.